Speaking of Elon Musk, do we have that video of him?
Oh, yeah.
This is so twisted. I mean, look, being a father or mother or parent is not, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Elon Musk seems to revel in how bad he is at it. And
hold on. Calling him a parent, like, you can be a father.
He's a breeder.
You can be a biological father.
He's tired. He sired some children.
Right.
Um,
he donated his DNA, and being a father is a little bit more than that.
But you have to be so twisted to go out and do this. Like, I can understand, I guess, like, you know, you have expectations of what your kids want to be, and, you know, being a parent is always about letting go about expectations of your kids, and not wanting them necessarily to be, you know, coming to just a realization like they're not an extension of you. They're their own person, and, you know,
that's beautiful. Right.
And, well, I mean, it's both. I mean, sometimes it's hard to let go of expectations, you know, right. Or like, you know, you want your kid to be a great athlete, or you want your kid to be bookish, or you want them to be both. You want them to be better at certain things that you're bad at, and you want them to, you know, root for the Red Sox or whatever it is. But if you're like even a reasonably well-adjusted adult, if they don't become exactly what you want them to, you learn to live with it, and you love them throughout it. And regardless of those things, your inclination is to protect them. Not Elon Musk.
Trigger warning for some people: the entire time Elon Musk dead names his daughter.
And also, like, admits to essentially, like, I'm going to, if I have to, I will bend the world to my vision of what my child should be. This is deranged stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, well, it sort of like happened to one of my issue. It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This was before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. You know, I was told, oh, Xavier might commit suicide if he.
That was a lie right from the outset. No reliable clinician ever believed that. There was never any evidence for that. And also, if there's a higher suicide rate, the reason is because of the underlying depression and anxiety, and not because of the gender dysphoria. And
every I got to just step in here and just say, Peterson doesn't know what he's talking about.
What? He's a former doctor that got his credentials retracted by the governing board of Montreal. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, he is unlicensed quackery that he's talking about. And the data is absolutely clear on this as well.
And yeah,
and I don't know if he examined Elon Musk's child. My guess is he probably didn't. I didn't realize he was talking to Peterson. And I only saw some of the clips of what Musk was saying, and I thought something horrible had happened to his child. I thought that this person he was talking about, like, had actually gone on to commit suicide. The way that he's talking about it is as if this person is literally dead and something horrible happened to them, as opposed to, oh no, they happily transitioned and have decided that their father's incredibly toxic and they don't want him to live. I had no idea, because I don't follow Elon Musk. But continue with this.
Well,
I mean, it's amazing to hear him talk.
It's amazing, and also the fact that he is dead naming his child to the entire world shows how little he cares in earnest about his kids' mental health, as he pretends to care about it.
because of the underlying depression and anxiety and not because of the gender dysphoria. And every goddamn clinician knows that too. And they're too cowardly to come out and say it. Right? And so that, and then we end up in exactly, when I saw that lie start to propagate, it just made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. It's like, I see. So you're telling parents that unless they agree to this radical transformation that their children are going to die, and you think that's moral, and you think that's true. That is so pathological that it's almost incomprehensible. I can't imagine anything worse. I can't imagine a therapist doing anything worse than that, or sitting by idly and remaining silent while his colleagues are doing it. It's pathetic.
It's incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
It won't stop till that happens.
Yeah.
It'll just go underground. Puberty blockers are being accessed online by kids all the time through non-medical channels. So yeah, right. It's not going to stop. Yeah. Okay, so I see. So that's.
So I was tricked into doing this, and it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. Anyway, and so I lost my son essentially. They call it deadnaming for a reason.
Yeah.
All right. So the reason it's called deadnaming is because your son is dead.
He paused
it. My son Xavier is.
Oh, that's you know what they also say. You know what they also say is deadbeat. Like deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
That's more and more people are saying it, folks.
Just a turn of phrase. Can we go back like 20 seconds? I want to
And that philosophy was being piped to Earth.
For a reason.
Yeah.
All right. So the reason it's called deadnaming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead. Killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But in reality, actually, his child is still alive. And his child just doesn't want to deal with him anymore because he's such an a-hole. And his child apparently is living a happy life. And if Elon Musk cared about that human being, regardless of whether it was a son or a daughter, but if he cared about that human being, he wouldn't have even he wouldn't be talking this way.
But his right-wing extremism comes through even there, outside of him being a deadbeat dad and a horrible person. The way he talks about, his daughter, but dead names her and calls her his son over and over again, and says that they are actually sterilization drugs. We know that Elon Musk traffics in natalism, which is associated with eugenics and these kinds of ideas about breeding the right kind of people to populate the earth. There's a reason he has so many children. It's because he is a deranged human being and a megalomaniac that thinks that because he's wealthy, he's in some way a genius that needs to populate the earth with his sperm. So not only is he hateful towards his child, he says that because he's furious that his child, who was born with male genitalia, is unable to continue to achieve his dream of continuing to populate the earth with his sperm. It's absolutely insanity. Although, in theory, she could have saved her sperm and still have a partner and have a life and have children with that genetic material. But that's how these right-wingers think about things. And so, it's going to be fascinating because this is all of these weird tech vampires share this obsession. And Peter Thiel has, or not Peter Thiel, sorry, JD Vance, we played that clip yesterday of him going after Kamala Harris for not having kids herself, or biological kids herself. And I really hope that the freakazoids and this philosophy that it seems kind of obscure, but really in the end is just like patriarchal and racist. I hope that those politics become a little bit more clear because they're a part of the Trump administration too. I mean, even the way he was putting forward his blondest grandchildren to show off how he was a grandfather at the RNC. There is this like weird racist eugenicist undertone to a lot of these right wingers, and I think that'll creep a lot of people out if there's enough attention drawn to it.
Juniper J makes the point, Musk didn't understand the document he was signing. He's running SpaceX. I mean, it sort of is amazing on some level. Like, I don't even know if I believe that. I think that when you talk about COVID, impacting people's brains, I think something went awry with this guy. Yeah, I don't think he's very bright, and I think something went awry, and there he is. He needs to blame something other than himself for his alienation from his child.
I think he was probably harassing some assistant when all these decisions were being made.
And you know what probably bugs him too is that he couldn't control her with money. Like, he's the richest guy on the planet, and she basically gave him the middle finger despite the fact that she could make he could make her, it's more than comfortable for the rest of her life.
Yep. Mama Feastalis says, I'm a trans woman and my mother put herself through a lot of introspective work to accept me because she values her children more than her ego. Elon Musk failed that same test. We have an old adage in the trans community that when you come out, people act like there's been a murder of which you, the trans person, are both the victim and the perpetrator.
Yeah.
Imagine being a parent who actually lost a child and hearing someone say they're alive and well kid is dead to them just because they're trans. Elon is an absolute ghoul who does not deserve kids. Indeed, people act like, we let anybody have kids. We sure do.
I think it's a media failing too, and like we've tried to highlight, for instance, Dwayne Wade as a role model for how parents can deal with something when you're getting all this horrible messaging in the culture about like, what is a woman? You can't say it. And actually, it's a shame that we can't lead people to an actual, like, Elon is a role model for so many men on this planet, and that's what he's modeling.
Wasn't there, didn't we have like a chart that showed that divorced men are the most likely cohort to support Trump?
Bradley's finding it.
I mean, who was it that the House GOP Judiciary tweeted out? Like, it was like Elon, Kanye, and Trump, was it? Like, like the most divorced guys in world history?
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.